Welcome back to Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I want to also thank Chemical Warfare for the Iron Road to the Arnold Classic sponsorship. They'll be sponsoring all our coverage at the Arnold Classic this coming year, which is going to be taking place in less than 3 weeks now, so that's exciting. Today's guest is a very controversial man in our industry. We've had our battles in the past. We're buddies now again, so I want to have him on the show. It's my pleasure to welcome back Nick Trigili.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Hey.
Nice to see you again.
What's going on now?
Just working, coaching. Brought out a new line. Just trying to stay relevant as industry while not competing for now, and getting it back in shape because I fell off like the last.
Yeah, I was
years.
going to ask you. You got fat for a while. Matter of fact, people were sending me pictures, and they were putting your picture next to Newman from Seinfeld, and they were saying, "What's going on with Nick?"
I'm gonna be straight up. I spoke about it a couple of times. You know, I have some depression problems. I went on antidepressants about 3 years ago. I was still able to train and keep myself in shape then because I think I was still not as bad.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple personal things go on between family and some business stuff that hit the wall. And I was like, you know what? If I don't double down on my work right now, I'm going to lose everything. So I just put the gym aside. And then antidepressants put a lot of weight on you. If people have been there.
What did they put you on?
So I was on Lexapro, like a real high dose, Wellbutrin, and I was taking Xanax to like keep my anxiety at bay.
Right. What do you have anxiety from?
Honestly, Dave, I don't know. I don't know where it's derived from, where it started. It really started after I stopped bodybuilding, and I cleaned out my receptors and got off all the juice and everything, and that's when I started having problems. But I'm not pointing it towards that.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe something got a little more haywire. I also partied a lot in my lifetime.
Right.
You know, so I don't know if the chemicals of the combination of things I used to do just, you know, fried some things out up there in the dopamine and serotonin in my brain. But knock on wood, I'm really good now. But at that time, I was going through a lot, and I was eating to satisfy my depression.
Right.
You know, like that's what I eat. You know, that's my thing. I got up to almost 350.
Italian. That's why Italians eat.
Yeah. And I was eating so many carbs, and also when I reached out to you, I was also having that glucose problem with, you know, with my adrenal gland, where my blood sugar was going down instead of up, so it was the opposite of a diabetic. So I was eating carbs every hour of the day, every single day.
Oh, so you're just getting fat from that.
Oh my God, yeah, and I wasn't exercising at all, so it was a really bad combination of a couple of things. And then I started, honestly, the keto diet is what kind of saved my health, to be honest. And I'm off all my meds now. Like, I'm not taking anything anymore.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so whatever happened along the lines with me switching my diet up, it's fixed my glucose problems. It's fixed my adrenal problems. Now I'm using a CPAP machine to sleep. That's also was a major problem. I wasn't sleeping enough.
Right.
I wasn't going into REM. And then I started this keto diet. I'm down 50 pounds plus.
Now, are you doing the Dave Palumbo ketogenic diet, or are you doing the Brad Rowe ketogenic diet?
Well, for people that don't know, I'm not doing the Brad Rowe ketogenic diet. Honestly, I tried his. I did. I tried it.
Which is the medical ketogenic diet. Yeah.
Well, I was like, fuck it. Let me just see how I respond to it. And that didn't go over very well. And then I started increasing protein back, and then I feel good having a little more protein than zero, pretty much, to what he was doing.
Yeah. How much protein are you eating a day? I mean, per meal, probably.
So I have about 150 to 180 grams a day because I'm still trying to drop weight.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder right now, so I'm trying to go down. Mm-hmm. But before, I was literally doing like under 100 grams of protein, and that was not good.
No, you can't do that. It's crazy. People.
Yeah. And the fats, you know, I changed my fat sources up too. He was like, you can eat bacon, all this stuff. Yeah, I have it, but I don't have it to the extreme that he was doing it.
No, your body has essential fat requirements. I mean, you can't just eat all junk, you know? It's ridiculous.
No. So I switched over to like some salmon, some tuna, you know, avocados.
Sure. You're doing it right.
Yeah, and I feel way better.
I bet your depression is better too.
Dude, I swear I'm not even just talking about keto because you're on here.
No, I know.
This has changed my life and my mental capacity, my workload, my energy, my sleep. My girlfriend's like, you're literally a revitalized new man. Like, you've never been like this.
You want to know something funny? I guarantee, I'm not telling you to do it, but if you went off the antidepressants, you'd still feel good. I'll tell you why. A lot of people don't realize this. 75% of the serotonin in your body is not produced in your brain, it's produced in your gut.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
There's a nervous system in your intestinal tract. That's why when you take trenbolone, it messes up your gut too, because it screws with your nervous system.
No, I'm off all the meds now. I'm not taking
you are good.
So.
Okay, because if you eat a crappy diet, okay, and you create, imbalances in your gut flora, and it leaves the gut, vulnerable to invasion essentially by these toxins, you don't produce serotonin. And then what happens is you feel it in your brain. You get depressed because that serotonin is coming from down here, not up here. So the problem is not here, it's in your gut. So a lot of people think that they have mental illnesses or they have all kinds of depression. It's actually, they just don't eat right.
Right. Yeah, and I was eating McDonald's every other day, Wendy's, ordering out every meal. I was extremely acidic. I wasn't drinking water. I wasn't taking any vitamins or supplements. Like, when I tell you I fell off, I fell off. It was not. And I had no problem telling people, this is what happened. This was a real thing. Shit happens, you hit walls in life, you're going to have to just adjust and get back. You can't just keep going.
Yeah.
But I hit 350 at one point.
Wow, you were that heavy? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm down to 295 as this morning. So
how far do you want to go down?
Realistically, I don't know what I can get to because I've been heavy for a very long time. Yeah. So, I remember we spoke about it. It took you 10 years to get, a decent weight. Right. I would love to be 260, 270, but I don't know what's going to happen.
Right, but are you muscular? Are you training again?
I'm not doing any weight training. Oh. I'm doing plyos and calisthenics stuff.
Why won't you go train with weights?
Because before, when I was doing them, my appetite would be so stimulated that my body just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right, but you don't have to do a 400-pound bench press in the gym.
Oh no, I can't anyway. Yeah. No, I'm gonna gradually get back into the weights as I get the weight down a little bit more. I'm doing an hour of cardio every single day. My endurance is insane right now. Good. But I do very moderate stuff with weights and body exercises. I'll do pull-ups, push-ups, stuff like that. That's good. But some abs, nothing crazy. But I honestly, my joints have never felt better either. I'm not going to lie. My body just doesn't feel beat up every day, you know?
Yeah.
I've never taken off like that. So it was a very weird adjustment for me.
Sure. Yeah, it was probably, what I think what happens is you go too crazy. You go either all or none. And always the answer is in the middle somewhere.
I'm an extremist. It is what it is.
Most bodybuilders are. Now, I want to talk about a couple topics because I know it drives you crazy, and it drives me crazy too. I listen to your rants. Sometimes I don't even want to go there. I just let you do it. But these online, I noticed recently these guys are starting these Instagram accounts with these. They're like these, making themselves the self-proclaimed guru of peptides or guru of growth hormone or guru of steroids. And they're doing seminars. You would think these guys were medical doctors, and it turns out these guys probably don't even have high school diplomas, but they're selling peptides or SARMs on the side, and they're using this as a way to rope in all those guys that want to know the secrets, so to speak.
Yeah.
And you've been outing a lot of these guys. What's going on with society?
I just honestly, I think they saw a window of opportunity because maybe they think honestly, nothing against Boston, but Boston kind of opened that floodgate originally.
Yeah.
By being very open, nothing in a bad way, but he opened the floodgate to these kids thinking that, he can do it, I can do it. What experience does he have? And then other people started stepping in. I started doing it. And I think they just saw an angle where there's so many young kids just so hungry to put on muscle and to be a pro and to look like something that they're literally, like you said, looking for any advantage anywhere, any secret they can get. Plus, these guys are openly selling drugs on the internet.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's
full blown. It's a funnel. They lure them in with free information. Right. Then they're like, oh, join my WhatsApp chat. And then they say, okay, the only way you can stay here is if you buy $400 worth of steroids from me.
Is that what they're doing? I don't even know. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy from Research Station, or whatever the fuck his name.
Oh my God, what a
that
retard
that guy that I had that big blowout with. And then on top of it, it's not like he's selling these kids good stuff. These kids are getting infections. They're going to hospitals.
Oh, really? It's that bad? I didn't know that.
They're dropping dead. Like, they're having kidney and liver failure. Like, there is like hundreds and hundreds of these kids that are out there like damaged from this guy.
You know that for a fact? They've contacted you?
For a fact.
Wow.
I have like a couple of their moderators that they had running. Bro, this guy had over 100 WhatsApp groups.
Wow.
With 200 plus people in them, selling drugs to all of them. It was like a massive thing.
How do these guys not get arrested, Nick?
I don't know and the guy lives in
Arizona. If you or
I
did it, we'd be in jail in a week. You know,
oh
maybe
my
less.
God, forget about it.
Yeah.
Forget about it. These kids would throw us under the bus in a second. But for some reason, they believe this guy. The words that come out of his mouth, he's talking out of his ass. Doesn't have any experience with anything. Doesn't look like a bodybuilder either. It's not like he looks great.
No.
So these kids are just so desperate, so desperate, and that's what our industry is coming to. I mean, it's
sad.
It's really ugly. It's scary that these kids believe it. And then on top of it, it just takes away from people like us that are making an honest living and trying to, and they don't want to come to us for help. They go to these guys.
Well, it's almost like a cult type of mentality where you always wonder, how do these people get sucked into a cult? Well, because the guys or whoever, usually it's a guy who runs it, is very charismatic. They're telling people what they want to hear. They're addressing all their insecurities, and they suck these people in, and then they drink the Kool-Aid, so to speak, you know. And then you can't tell them anything. We could say all we want that these people don't know what they're talking about. They've bought the whole line, hook, line, and sinker, you know.
The sad part is though they go against me like straight up as if I'm bullshitting them, like that I have no experience or that I don't know what I'm talking about. Or I even sometimes say, hey, look, even Dave Palumbo said this. Look, and they're like, yeah, but this guy, and I'm like, he's a nobody. He's literally a nobody. He was nowhere 2 years ago, even a year ago.
And I'm not against new guys coming out of the woodwork and being information providers, but when you know that there's an alternative, first of all, with the information he's giving is not good. No. But secondly, there's an ulterior motive to sell drugs, so it's not good, especially if people are getting hurt and they're selling stuff that's probably not legitimate, you know.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. At least give them. You know, it's scary though, because there's just so many kids manipulated by it, and it's so easily. He has hundreds and hundreds of Instagram pages that he just trolls people on. Yeah. And he'll go on my page and go follow the people that follow me.
Oh, really?
He'll DM that. Yeah, he'll go DM. He does the same thing to you. He'll go on your page and just follow people that follow your stuff and DM them and try to lure them in. Like, hey, I got trend.
Right.
You know, and they're like, oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, if anyone ever contacted me, I sometimes get these emails like saying, "Oh, I got GH," or I got. I'm like, I don't even like. I'm afraid that I even opened it. I was like, oh man, I shouldn't even opened it. I should have seen the subject, you know.
Well, look what happened with LWP just recently, with that guy Gilbert, with that whole online thing he had going on.
Yeah, how did that turn out? What went down?
He's in Brooklyn, MDC right now. They're holding him. Yeah,
Gilberto Mundo?
Gilberto Mundo.
You know, I interviewed him when he won the New York Metropolitans years ago.
Yeah, or Metropolitan Atlantic States.
One of those. Yeah, one of those. Atlantic States, yeah.
And so he was living in Long Island City, Queens. He moved back from Miami, and he was selling the juice out of his gym locker in the gym.
Now, wasn't he also originally associated with that other wellness place down in Florida that got busted?
He's the one that wore the wire on Richard Rodriguez and got everyone turned in.
Oh, so he ratted them all out. And then he was doing his own thing.
He was that. So he was an informant. He was a legit informant. So right now he was supposed to be working to turn people in from this LWP operation, but he was actually just out there selling more juice under the radar.
Oh my God!
So someone caught whiffs of it in the gym and said, "Hey, you know this guy." They didn't know who he was. This guy's selling juice out of a locker. They cut the locker, and it was full of drugs.
Oh my God!
So the probation officer, he was on probation. probation officer went to his home in Long Island City.
Yeah.
They knocked on the door, went in there, and they found shitloads of money, shitloads of drugs.
Holy mackerel.
They found checks from certain individuals. I'm not going to mention names from.
Yeah.
And now they're holding him on. Obviously he's going to have new charges on top of breaking probation. So, but Richard Rodriguez is still sitting in jail.
Wow. Now, he set that whole thing up. But I mean, once you're an informant, won't they just set him free again and just say, hey, go set someone else up? I mean, if you're already a rat, what's the difference?
This is his second time breaking his probation.
Probation.
So he's really fucked now.
I see guys, Nick, on these quote, longevity sites that are basically just steroid selling sites, kind of like the way the wellness thing was. And I see like the top name bodybuilders on there. And sometimes I'll contact these guys. I'm friends with them. I'm like, why is your picture on this guy's Instagram? Oh, they're giving me free shit. And I'm like, but do you understand that they're selling, what they're doing is illegal? You can't sell steroids on a website.
I know.
I don't get it. I see top names guys. I'm not going to mention names, but there's top bodybuilders on there.
There's another one in Miami doing that now too.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So they have everybody now. They got They got all the LWP guys now.
Yeah, why would these guys allow them to use their picture? I don't get it.
I have no idea. And they're getting such minuscule payments too to have a post up. I'm like, why are you putting that in your profile? Why are you posting that?
I don't
know. To me, it's the most. It's insane, to be honest.
Do they really think that this place is not going to get arrested or that it's illegal? One guy told me, he goes, well, it's hormone replacement. I'm like, you're not allowed to go and sell Trenbolone on a website to anyone who wants it.
I know, they think that Tren and EQ is a normal hormone drug.
No, but you can't just go out and put it into your shopping cart and buy it. Yeah. That's not a hormone replacement clinic. You got to get tests and you got to get a doctor, to look at you. Yeah. Even Titan Medical Center, you could do telemedicine, but you got to get blood work. They got to have a doctor review it, and then you got to get a prescription. So it's not. You don't just go on there and in the cart, I'll take a Trenbolone, I'll take a Masteron, I'll take a testosterone, I'll take some GH, and throw some Arimidex in too on the way out.
Oh, it's not even legal here in New Jersey anymore. No. They don't even have clinics anymore. But LWP was operating out at Panama, so when you ordered through Instagram, it was Gilbert taking the money, Western Union it to whatever name in the United States, and then shipped from Panama to your house. So that's how they were doing that.
What a nutcase. Once you get arrested, one time, you would think you would learn your lesson. Say, oh, you know what? I tried, I made money, I screwed up. All right, I'm done. Because you know what? Right. I really don't want to go back to jail. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to spend time in jail. I don't want to have to deal with looking over my shoulder. And these guys, they think well, I can do it one more time. I won't get caught this time.
They think that they're actually they have a less chance of getting arrested now because they were arrested once.
This is the worst time.
They won't bother me now.
But you know what, Nick? This is the worst time in the history of steroids to ever be selling steroids because everything can be tracked because there's emails and text messages and phone calls. Back in the 90s, there was nothing. They couldn't, unless they had your phone tapped, you couldn't get caught,
Yeah, and back then there was no trail of anything.
No, there was no text or anything. No one could follow that stuff.
They can get anything at any given time. Anything.
You could pick up a payphone back then and call someone, and they never could track that.
I was gonna say I would go to a payphone when I was younger and call people.
Yeah, and I still thought the phone was being tapped. Did you hear that click? I think I heard a click. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Why is it ticking on the other end? That's weird.
You thought that they were listening with the listening devices,
So true though. Things have changed dramatically. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They think because they have one of those shitty little phones that they're not being tracked anywhere.
What do you think about these websites that are out there? Like Nick's Strength and Power, and all these websites of these younger guys that are getting. And I have to say, I don't know how they're getting all the traffic that they're getting. Subscribers through the roof. A lot of them have a lot of views on these. I don't understand on how bodybuilding is reported. Who's watching these videos? Look, I probably, if I go to a show, pretty much everyone at the show watches my videos. I know that. Right. I have the hardcore crew. You probably have the similar bunch of people who watch your videos. It's like a similar, but then There's other sites that have like
mine
hundreds of thousands of people watching their videos. Who's watching these bodybuilding videos?
I can't get my channel to grow. I think I'm like shadow banned or something because I talk about too much. I'm more edgy than you are. I'll go a little more extreme than you. So I think YouTube definitely holds me back for sure because I won't grow as organically as I did in the beginning. I went to like 20K in like no time and then it just stopped.
Yeah, it's possible.
But Nick Strength and Power, I have a problem with that kid.
Why?
So he's blocked me since like day one, which I have no idea why. Okay, he blocked my YouTube. He blocked my YouTube account and he blocked my Instagram account.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Which I have no idea why. I did nothing to this kid. Yeah. And then second of all, his subscribers are way too high in comparison to what he's actually getting on views and comments and everything else. Like he's at almost 1 million subscribers. He's getting like 40,000 views, 50,000 views.
Right.
Like some videos will hit 100, but that's after like a very long period of time. And in the beginning, he was getting good analytics. Like he had good interaction, but for some reason, he's not getting anything close to what he's got subscribed. So I don't know if people saw one video and like hit the bell or subscribe and never came back again.
Right.
Because he does tag a lot of these trending weird topics like wrestling or like The Rock or like a football controversy, and then he'll throw like a bodybuilding story in.
Right.
But at the expo, at the Fit Expo, he had no one there talking to him. Like no one knew who he was.
Right.
Like if you walked around, everybody be high-fiving you, talking to you. Everyone knows who you are. No one knows who this kid is. And just kind of sketchy that this kid has almost 1 million subscribers and no one knows who he is. And on top of it, he doesn't show himself on the channel. Yeah. He's just talking over a video. Right. So to me, the channel's boring as shit. I don't get
it either. I mean, I'm good for him that he's making a nice paycheck from YouTube. I mean, congratulations. But I wonder, like, you know, I always try to figure out like who. I don't really cater my programming, and I know you don't either, for the people who want it. Like I don't make programming so that people will listen to me. I just do what I want, and hopefully people will watch it, that kind of thing. But he obviously figured something out because he does have a lot of engagement in terms of, even though maybe not percentage-wise, but if you get 100,000 hits on a video, that's a lot of hits as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. You know,
but it's dramatically went down though recently. I don't know why, but he is not getting the same. Like he was getting a lot of views before, like a lot, and all of a sudden he's just not. I think because people maybe are just like kind of bored of the monotonous, like the same thing. Like he just regurgitates information that's already known. Like he'll put up an Instagram post and talk about it. Like, yeah, we already know that, you know. But also,
it seems like a lot of these guys, they just report on what's going on. Like, oh, did you see so-and-so on his Instagram put a picture of himself picking his nose? And everyone who in the whole YouTube community has got to do the same review of that nose picking video.
Yeah, there's like that Louis Marco guy is like trying to make a comeback too. I don't know if you saw him.
What happened to him?
He's like, I don't know. I don't know what happened. He just disappeared, and now he's like, he makes a video like every day now.
Oh, does he?
Like, talk about, like, no one cares though. No one's watching his stuff. I think he missed his window of opportunity.
Yeah, if you leave the industry for like 2 months, you're done. They're on to the next
your channel die out real fast. And then like there's a couple new ones, like some desktop guy. Like that's
the kid who used to work for me. Yeah, he's Xavier from.
Oh, really? He used to work.
I actually stayed at his house in Tasmania years ago, in 2012.
Oh my God,
he's a good guy.
Funny.
He's a good kid. Yeah.
I didn't know where he came from. I was like,
he used to do RXMuscle Australia, and then he kind of was doing some other. So he used to do contest coverage for us down there, and I don't know. Then he kind of took a little break, and then he just started that channel. He's a good guy.
Is he a bodybuilder or just a regular dude?
He competes. He's actually got a pretty good classic physique. You know, he's into bodybuilding, and you know, he was very quiet when I first met him, and his personality developed. He's got a very good work ethic, and that's why I had hired him to work for us, because he was very dedicated. So that's what it takes to have a good YouTube channel. You have to be very dedicated. You almost got to be neurotically dedicated to what you're doing.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, I just tell people, like, I'm a neurotic, so like if I put my mind to do something, I remember when I first launched Muscle in the Morning, which is our weekly news show. This was 7 years ago. People said, it'll never last more than a month. And we've done, I've gone 7 years, straight at 5 shows a week. We never missed a single week. So
that's crazy.
You have to do that though, because the second you miss a week, people, they're on to something else. They don't even want to be known from you.
Right, yeah. They're like, oh, Dave's done.
Yeah,
he quit.
yeah. So, you could change, I could change the idea. I could say, look, I don't want to do muscle in the morning anymore, but I still have other programming. But the bottom line is if you want something to be successful, at least in this industry, you have to be very consistent with it, because when people are into something like bodybuilding, they want to be able to go to a channel and know that every time they go to it, every day, they got new content to watch,
Right. Well, there's really nobody doing contest coverage, which is disappointing. I mean, that sucks.
Well, yeah. Because you know what? It doesn't pay anymore. It's too expensive. Who wants to go?
And they're not gonna do anything for you. So why? There's no benefit to go there.
No. The only I'll tell you, the Arnold people are great. I'm going to the Arnold Classic this year.
Oh, good.
And I mean, my daughter's a little older, so my wife's said it's okay, and I'm going to go to the Arnold Cup because I love the Arnold. The Arnold people always bend over backwards to the press. And you know what? Since Dan Solomon's taken over the Olympia, he opened, he really rolled out the red carpet for the press this past year, and so I'm looking forward to hopefully at the end of this year going to that. Aside from those two shows, I mean,
there's really not much.
It's too.
Well, Athleticon this year, we'll see how.
Yeah, if The Rock does what he says he's going to do you think that's going to be successful?
From my inside word, yeah, I think it's going to be really big.
What are you hearing?
I heard that it's invite only, which is crazy.
Well, that's what the Arnold is too. It should be. I mean, aside from the Olympia, everything is usually an invite.
You think for the first year though they should do that? I mean, that seems. I don't know. Well,
I think what they're going to do is they're going to invite very big names. Don't you think?
Yeah, I would hope they do it though. Like a lot of these guys get lazy after the Olympia. They don't want to do anything.
I bet you The Rock will incentivize people with money.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope there's a good prize money there.
Well,
they said it's not going to be bigger than the Olympia, though.
From what I heard, The Rock was supposed to do the Olympia at some point, and then maybe the deal changed, and maybe that's why he started his own show, because he's not doing the Olympia.
So he wanted to be part of that brand, and the Olympia brand wouldn't let him in. So he said, "Fuck you, I'm going to start my own brand."
Oh, is that how it went down?
They didn't want him. He wanted to take over pretty much.
Okay.
And they said, no, this is like the Olympia brand. This is our brand. Mm-hmm. So then he went and opened that Athleticon thing, and now that's going to be that's more of like an Arnold though, because they're going to have tons of sports there and stuff. Right. It's not just bodybuilding.
I think it's better that way. I'll tell you why. Because it creates a competition.
Yes.
Competition always raises the bar.
Everyone will raise the bar.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it'll raise the prize money too.
I hope. I mean, I don't want to see the Olympia go anywhere, obviously, because that's been there forever.
It's never going anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
You don't think so?
Nah, but it's the Olympia. Everyone wants to be Mr. Olympia. It doesn't matter. If the show, I mean, let's face it, the Arnold is the biggest sports festival in the world, bigger than the Olympics.
Yeah, but do you think bodybuilding will be the headline of the Olympia forever, or no?
Yes, because I think everyone wants to be Mr. Olympia. I think that as long as guys are training at the gym, there's going to be guys that want to be big and freaky, you know what I mean? And as long as Mr. Olympia title's there giving away money, it's always going to continue. If they decided, hey, you know what, we're not giving any more prize money out, people might drop off, right? I mean, but they're still giving $400,000 away,
Yeah.
For first prize.
I just see Classic just really, really prospering with all these new guys coming in there.
I think it's going to hurt bodybuilding because I think you're going to lose some of the talent pool.
Yeah, they're going to stop going up. They're going to stay there.
Yeah, or unless the Classic just becomes the minor leagues or the nurturing leagues for the Open. Maybe some guys will do the Classic and then they'll move up to the Open. I don't know.
Right. I mean, before we go ahead, the media coverage, Generation Iron has been really fucking shitty too. Speaking of media coverage, I just don't like what they're doing over there lately. I mean, I stopped working with them because of that, because I just got so sick of it.
What don't you like about it?
I mean, they're out there to make money. They're out there to get views and clicks. That's all they care about.
Yeah.
But when they cross the line with some people and talking shit about people and exploiting people, putting people against each other almost, I saw how pissed off Lee Priest was about a couple things,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not good publicity for the bodybuilding industry. Mm-hmm. And they have a real fucking good control of what's going on with these videos they're coming out with, these movies, like the Big Orexia coming out, more Generation Iron movies. This Tony Hughes documentary was crazy.
Lee Priest hated that. Yeah, he thought it was.
Yeah, I just don't like that whole image it's spitting out. Yes, I get they're trying to bring reality to bodybuilding, but that's not reality. No one's having on vacations and having strippers and shooting each other up. Like, it's just not, maybe like some people are, but not the whole industry.
No.
That's not bodybuilding, I don't know. I think it's very toxic. I don't think it's a good look.
Yeah.
Kids are going to get the wrong image. They're going to get the wrong idea. That's one thing that I'm just like really disturbed about, especially when they throw the word death in advertisement.
I know. Yeah, I don't like that either.
Like, I get it. You got to get clicks. I get it. That's their whole business motto. But, at the end there with me, I just didn't want to do half the stuff they wanted me to do. I was getting a bad image from it, People started hating me because I was talking about people, and that wasn't the direction I wanted to go in. So,
right. I think that what happens is people get burnt out on that kind of programming.
Yeah.
You can only do so much of it,
Yeah, only so much.
I always say this, a lot of these channels come out of the gate really strong, and you think, oh, this is going to be the next big channel. And then you realize that they're only just capitalizing on the same top names that we've all interviewed already and gotten the story out of. Maybe they do it in a slightly different way, and everyone's like, oh, that's a cool story. Well, yeah, I've heard the Flex Wheeler story, and I've heard the Dorian Yates story, and the Sean Ray story, and all those. I've heard them all a million times already, but, you hear it again on a new channel, fine. But then what happens, they interview all the people, and then like, all right, well, now what do we do? Now we got to we actually have to try to, create content. And people realize it's not so easy. I mean,
no.
I've been doing it longer than anyone out there. I mean, that's why I try to do more, and I know you try to do the same thing. I try to give more science information, diet information, bodybuilding, information that people need on a daily basis, because that's stuff that you could talk about a million times over, and you never have enough of it.
That never gets old either. People love that.
I mean, I'll address some of the gossip topics of the day if they're strong enough that I think it warrants me, giving my opinion on it. But I can't on a daily basis do the gossip stuff. It drives me nuts,
It's not exciting for me to get on here and talk about that either.
Yeah.
It's just not, doesn't get me going. Is there something you want to talk about next? I was just going to bring something up.
Yeah, bring it up. Yeah.
I brought up the other day about, I saw Brandon Curry on tour. I saw he was with Kamal. He's doing like that European tour and stuff.
Right.
I got a lot of flack from this from a couple people.
Why?
Especially Brandon Curry's wife. I got a lot of flack from Flex Lewis.
What'd you say? I didn't hear it.
So I did a video talking about how Brandon has, I don't want to say shrunk, but he doesn't look like Mr. Olympia right now.
Okay.
And I get guys have to come off and, clean the receptors out, but like, as Mr. Olympia, like Sean Roden did the same thing. Like,
Roden always did he looked terrible in the offseason.
And I just think like now we have another Olympia champion doing the same thing where he's completely covered up. He's not showing anything. He's on this tour, supposedly supposed to show off the Olympia brand, and he just doesn't look anything like Mr. Olympia right now. And I get it, he had to come off because he's been on for X amount of time or whatever, but like, you could still work out. You could still eat. You could still maintain. There's no way Brandon Curry's genetics are not better than what he's portraying right now, because he looks smaller than Kamal. And Kamal's a 212 guy.
Yeah.
And he's got sweatshirts on and hats and sweatpants. Like, I just don't understand it. How's that supposed to brand the Olympia, to get people excited to go see this and pay almost $300 a ticket to go hang out with Brandon Curry?
Right.
And, that's just not a good look, And then I brought up Flex Lewis coming to the open class, and this is, this is something I openly talked about. He does zero media for anything.
Yeah.
And if we want him to be a Mr. Olympia, we need a Mr. Olympia that's going to be outspoken and have a connection to its fans and brand himself that way. He's never done one media outlet ever in bodybuilding.
Yeah, I don't understand it because, for years he always told me he couldn't wait to come and interview with my channel as soon as he wasn't exclusive to AMI. And then he lost his exclusivity, and I reached out to him a couple times, and he's been very complimentary to my, to a lot of the stuff that I do. And I kept saying, all right, Flex, when are you coming on? When are you coming on? I never get an answer from him. The guy
Nothing.
Never responds.
He gives me the silent treatment every time I ask him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, monster. Oh, this. And like, Flex, I'm not making fun of you, but like, damn. Like, you're Mr. Olympia, 7-time Mr. Olympia of the 212, and no one ever heard you talk.
Yeah.
And I just think him going up to the open class is great and all, but I really don't want to see him win now and then have a silent Mr. Olympia, because now the last 2 years we've had a Mr. Olympia doesn't look like Mr. Olympia. afterwards, at least. And now we're having Mr. Olympia doesn't talk. I mean, it's just not.
Well, we grew up with Dorian, who didn't talk a lot, but he looked like an absolute freak in the offseason. And he did guest postings everywhere. We saw him everywhere, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And then Ronnie, who was very talkative, and he was a freak, you know, going around guest posing, I mean, with 25-inch arms, you know, so.
Fucking monster.
You would go to shows just to see those guys.
And I just think the guys that are Mr. Olympia, listen, yeah, you got to stay on longer. Fuck it. You're Mr. Olympia now. You have to make that sacrifice. You were not Mr. Olympia for how long? Now this is your time to look jacked all year. And, you know, and brand Mr. Olympia as, like, look at, like, that's a champion physique. Like, if Brandon Curry walked in there in a tank top and started training, people would freak the fuck out.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And now he's got a hoodie on and, you know, and no muscles. It's just like...
Yeah. Kai Green used to do the same thing, but Kai looked enormous even in a sweatshirt. So
yeah, because he has, like, real muscle that's there. Like, it's... I don't want to say it's all drug-induced, but, like, Kai trains religiously every fucking day, no matter where he is in the world, no matter what he's doing, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what makes Kai Green special, you know? He would have been a great champion other than Phil Heath, you know, but he never got the luck.
Now, you think that Phil Heath will come back this year?
I think, personally, the Olympia brand's, like, really got to do something for him, because if not, he's 40 now, right? I just don't see... I know he wants 10, because he's told me that. But, like, I don't know at what expense he wants to put his body through that again right now after he's been off for this long and enjoying, like, a normal life, you know? Yeah. I think he's very satisfied with where he's at, but at the same time, he's very competitive and probably wants to beat the shit out of these guys.
Yeah, and he's not injured. It's a big difference when you have an injury and you could say, well, I can't be my best anymore. He doesn't have any injuries, so
nothing.
You know,
he's perfect.
Yeah.
And he's maintaining a pretty good physique, not doing anything.
Yeah.
So I would love to see him come back, but unless, like, the Olympia brand's like, hey, Phil, we're going to market you as, like, the comeback kid and build this really good story for him, I don't see him doing it, personally. But, you know, I think he's got a really sour taste in his mouth still. But
I think we're going to see him at the Rock show. That's my prediction.
I want to see him compete at least somewhere.
I think I think the Rock is going to throw money at him. That if I were the Rock, that would be the move I would make. Right? Get Phil Heath, you know, on my.
He's in Atlanta right now doing something. I don't know what he's doing.
Maybe I'm right. I don't know.
That
would be my move if I was the Rock.
He's on the Titan Games set right now doing something. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
He would, you know what Phil would love to do? Phil would love to be like a sports commentary guy in the booth, like for sports. Like that would be his dream job. Like you or I, you know, we just want to be Mr. Olympia and run around as Mr. Olympia. He would love nothing more than to commentate basketball games and stuff like that. He would be in heaven to do that.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves that stuff.
That would be his dream job. Whereas most bodybuilders just want to be Mr. Oh, I'm 7-time Mr. Olympia. I'm just going to travel to every show and be Mr. Olympia, you know.
I mean, I think he's kind of like, you know, I don't know. He might be comfortable now. I don't know. I'm not sure where his head's at, but
he's not
it's
done.
nice. It's probably nice having a little bit of a life after, like, the last, 10, 12 years going hard.
Yeah, no, he's not done yet. He's got a couple more in him, I think. Yeah.
I mean, his body looks fresh. Yeah. I mean, how old's Sean Ronan? He's like mid-40s, right, Sean?
Yeah, he's like going to be 40. He's probably 45 now, so.
Yeah, so. I mean, if Sean could do it, he can do it.
Yeah, if he beats the case, he's going to be back on stage probably, you know, he'll be, 40, 45, 46 years old, so.
Do you think he'll come back after this whole thing?
Absolutely. He's itching to get on stage. First of all, he's Mr. Olympia theoretically still. I mean, even though he didn't compete. I mean, so.
Never had a chance to defend himself.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would have easily won his title back again. I mean, had he been able to do the show. So I think he's got a couple more good ones in him, you know. But, you know, it's one of two things. He's either going to be on the Olympia stage or he's going to be in jail. I mean, it's that cut and dry, you know, we'll know in April what's going on. So.
Yeah, his court case is getting in April.
There's no in between. It's jail or I'm competing again, you know.
I know, and it's a big limbo to be in right now.
It's scary. I hope it's the Olympia stage for all of us and for him especially. So.
I hope for everything, because as a brand ambassador, everything, we don't want to have him in jail.
No, it's not good. It's not good for
not to laugh, but it's just not a good look at all. Say, our Mr. Olympia now is locked up.
Yeah.
You know.
It will be interesting though, because if he does come back, I mean, let's say he beats the case and he does do the Olympia. I mean, a rematch between him and Phil could be the biggest thing going if that's the case.
It'd be huge, and then Brandon Curry in there too.
Obviously with the reigning Brandon Curry, I mean, so they can market that through the roof, And
then you got Flex Lewis, and then Rami, like.
It could be the best Olympia, in recent memory, because of
how do you think Flex is gonna stand next to these guys?
It depends who he's standing next to. If Phil's not competing and Roden's not competing, he's going to do very well, I think. If you get those two guys in there, now he's got a problem because he's got guys who are bigger and structurally better than him, and superior. But I think if those guys are missing, like it was this year, and you get,
what about Hadi though? If he comes back,
I think he matches up good against Hadi, is what I'm saying, because I don't think Hadi's that tall.
He beat him that one time a couple of years ago, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Flex had to suck down to make weight, and that used to hurt his physique. If he doesn't have to suck down, I think he's way more dominant, so.
Yeah, my whole thing was when I did that video, I talked about his chest and back, like being more fuller.
Yeah.
I think that's where he loses it, when he depletes a lot.
Yeah, it loses that wow factor. I mean, you see those pictures he does in the gym when he's all full and everything. He's
fucking mind-blowing, crazy.
So you put him, Hadi, Bonac, and Curry. That's a good matchup right there. That top.
And Rami.
And then, assuming Rami, qualifies for the Olympics.
Have you heard anything about him looking, like the way he looks?
No. But you know what? He always looks good because he's so big. In those pictures they take a couple weeks out. So until we see him on stage, you don't know, because he's a monster.
They're
it's
keeping
like
it
Rulli.
hush-hush.
Have you ever seen a bad Rulli picture, even like 2-3 weeks before a show? He looks like he's going to win, everything,
Yeah. He's another one that could be a major threat if he gets his shit together.
Yeah, I don't know. I suspect something's going on because he hasn't really been peaked out for the last year or two.
I know he's been off ever since he placed third that year.
Yeah, something's not right. I don't know. They're blaming hamstring injuries and stuff like that, but now he backed out of the show, so I got to believe something else is going on.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, it's been way too long from him being inconsistent. That it's just a hamstring.
Right. One show, yes, but when you start getting into 2 shows and then you're missing shows, that's usually something.
I mean, he's been pushing a long time now.
Yeah.
So, that shit catches up to you fast.
It certainly does. Well, Nick, I want to thank you for taking time to fill us in on what's going on in your life. I'm glad you're feeling good again. Stick to that ketogenic diet. Can't go wrong. Are you doing a cheat meal once a week?
I haven't done any. Actually, let me reframe that. I tried to do one with carbs. I had literally some bread and some French fries one day.
Yeah.
And it threw off my entire body for 4 days.
Really? That much?
Yeah. It fucked up my glucose. It fucked up the way I felt.
Really?
I was bloated. I was not digesting foods right. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that was a long time ago. I haven't touched it since. So I don't want to eat a carb, to be honest.
Yeah, at some point you probably should do it, just maybe some clean rice or something like that. You know what I mean?
I had a little bit of squash last night, and that kind of fucked me up too.
Well, what happens is you come out of ketosis, then your brain is not feeling so good. But usually if you only do one meal, 12 hours later you should be back in ketosis again. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love it, though. I don't think I'll ever go back to eating carbohydrates ever again.
you will. But let's get that weight off you first, man.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Getting it down. So,
all right. Well,
I appreciate it.
What's the channel is, give us your plugs for people get in touch with you.
So, Instagram is Nick World Class. You can check out my new Savior Research Sermons, too. That's on there. YouTube is under Nick Trigili. And that's about it, guys.
You got your own supplement line, right?
So I came out with a Savior Research Serms. It's anti-estrogens, like fat burner stuff like that. Okay. Pretty good stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
Press pills, it's good stuff. No one's using droppers anymore. None of that risky, scary shit. Sure. And we got third-party tests for everything, and it's good stuff. So it's on my Instagram if you want to check it out. Yeah, we'll put your Instagram up there right now so people can take a look at it. Yep. All right. Well, and I would love to come on again, maybe for a debate or something if you have one with somebody. Yeah, we're going to do some iron debates on the Arnold Classic. If you're interested, we'll get you on. Yeah, I would love to. Who do you want to debate? Anyone you want to argue with? I would love to get on with like Lee or somebody
All
fun, someone with a personality,
All right,
you know, and so I can shoot the shit with them.
I'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
All right.
Thanks, Nick.
All right.
Enjoy your day, and appreciate you taking time.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Take
All right,
care.
guys, and that's going to take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition and Chemical Warfare. Make sure you check out all our coverage of the Arnold Classic 2020, starting this month, leading into the Arnold, and then the follow-up, of course, all sponsored by Chemical Warfare. I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time.